Hey everybody, JC here with another TNI toy review, and today's review is in association with JediInsider.com, your #1 news source for everything Star Wars. And today we're taking a look at the new Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch Han Solo figure from Hasbro. Now this figure is part of the second wave of figures for the Black Series, the 6-inch Black Series, and which is just now starting to hit shelves. Now, like with all the figures in this line, the figure comes in a basic black packaging type box, window box. You can clearly see the figure displayed along with all of its accessories in the packaging. At the top you've got the Star Wars The Black Series logo, and you've got a little medallion image of the character Han Solo, and then at the bottom you have the character's name along with the number that this figure fits in the series. This is number 8 in the 6-inch Black Series. Then on the back you have a little bio for the character. Not really a bio, but like kind of just a little description. Han Solo has a final showdown with the bounty hunter Greedo in the Mos Eisley Cantina. Sorry about the mess. Just a quote from the Star Wars movie, obviously. And then below that is a picture of Han Solo sitting at the cantina table, engaging in the showdown with Greedo. Of course, we all know Han Solo shot first, right? So that's pretty much it. Same basic packaging we've seen with all the figures in this line. You know, not anything terribly spectacular. In fact, a little bit on the boring side. But you do get to clearly see the figure inside before purchasing. And I can take some generic packaging, you know, if that's what is needed to get us the nice figures, which this wave has delivered so far. So let's get this figure open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here we have a look at the figure outside of the packaging along with all the accessories that it comes with. And it does come with quite a few different accessories, which we'll go over in just a bit. But the figure itself, like with all the figures in the Black Series so far, the 6-inch Black Series, are very detailed, great paint apps, great likeness to the actor. I do think that maybe the likeness, the face sculpt, is not 100% to Han Solo, at least how he appeared in the Star Wars A New Hope movie. But it's pretty good. And definitely it looks good on the figure. I don't know, I kind of think it looks maybe a little bit more, the face sculpt looks a little bit more like he did in Empire Strikes Back than in Star Wars, but I don't know, it might just be me, but it still, I think, is a pretty good likeness to the actor. He comes with a removable vest, so all you do is you just slide off the vest off his arms. And so you can have basically him just wearing the t-shirt. So even though we haven't yet gotten a Bespin Han Solo, you could kind of make your own scene from The Empire Strikes Back right before he's about to get carbon freezed. He also comes with removable gun holster. Now basically it just pops open in the back here, but the piece that goes around his leg actually doesn't detach in any way, so what you have to do is you have to slide it down around his foot basically and slide it off. Now one thing I do want to notate, for those of you that might be wondering, the gun belt really, like if you wanted to use it say on your Luke Skywalker figure, your X-Wing fighter Luke, it really doesn't work because this piece won't slide around the leg of the Luke Skywalker figure because of the gear it's wearing. So if you want a gun belt for Luke, you'll probably need to stick with like the one that came with Greedo, because unfortunately the Han Solo one really doesn't work on that figure. And there's just some really nice detailing on the gun belt. You have this little black thing that, yeah, I never really knew what these were. They look kind of like a spare barrel end for the blaster or something, but I'm not sure. But it's still got the nice detailing, the silver magazines on the gun belt, and then the blaster fits in nicely. It's got a little strap that closes, or you can leave open, and the blaster fits in nicely into the gun belt. And there's a lot of detailing on the blaster as well. Just like with Luke's, it's just really nicely detailed and very, very, seems to be very movie accurate. And you got the silver tip on the end there and the brown handle. So really nice job with those accessories. The vest is basically just black, but you've got some nice sculpting with the pockets on the back, or whatever those are supposed to be. And then pockets on the front of the vest as well. And then he's got basically his basic t-shirt, which is kind of unbuttoned like it was in the movie. And he's got a regular belt to keep his pants up under his gun belt. And then he's got the navy imperial pants on, as he did in Star Wars, along with the black boots. He's got some nice shading work in his hair, so it gives some detail there. The basic browns, and his blue eyes come out nicely. And then just basic skin tones. So overall, I really like the the sculpting detail and the paint job on this figure. It's very nice. It's not quite as much shading and stuff that we've seen with some of the other figures, but I still think it was, it's a nice job basically, and does the character justice. So let's take a look at a few of the other accessories that the figure comes with. He comes with 2 interchangeable hands. The hands he comes with are non-gloved, and the one is sculpted with the trigger finger out, so it'll fit, so the blaster will fit in nicely. And it just goes, fits in his hand tightly, and then the finger will fit into the trigger hole. So he holds his gun really nice and snug. The other hand is sculpted more openly, so like when he's holding the rifle, he can do a two-handed pose with the rifle, but he can't hold his blaster in that hand. And then here's the rifle. It's an Imperial Stormtrooper rifle. It's basically the same rifle that we get with the Sand Trooper that was released in Wave 1. Same detailing and everything. And then he'll hold this, again, in this hand. Now the trigger finger doesn't quite fit in the hand like with the blaster, so it's a little off, but still overall fits pretty good. It's just a little bit bigger, so he doesn't quite get that trigger finger into the trigger hole. But then you can do a double handed pose, so he's holding the rifle in both hands. And then he comes with a Stormtrooper gun belt as well. So like in the movie, after they had freed Princess Leia in their Stormtrooper disguises and shed all the armor, they kept the gun belts. And so they've included one of those with this figure, so you could recreate that look. And it again just kind of snaps on around the figure's waist. And it's got some nice detailing on it, including this little pouch on the side. And then the holster, again, holds the rifle nicely. It's got a hole cut out of it so that the magazine of the rifle will fit right down into it, and it fits snugly on his back. And then he comes with a second pair of hands. The hands just pop off real easy. And the second pair of hands he comes with are gloved hands, like he wore on the Millennium Falcon when they were escaping the Death Star and heading to the Rebel base. So you just snap the hands on. And both hands, and we'll get more of this when we go over the articulation, but both hands are hinged, so that's nice. Both sets of hands have hinges on them, so that's nice. And he'll grip the guns again in the right hand. The left hand is too open to hold the guns, but it doesn't have the trigger finger, so he doesn't hold it quite as nicely as in the regular pair of hands, but he can hold the gun. And same with the rifle. In fact, I would say these hands are kind of made more to hold the rifle than the regular pair of hands. Okay, so the figure stands just about at 6 inches exactly. He's a nice scale. You'll see next to like the Luke Skywalker and X-Wing pilot suit, he's taller, which is movie accurate since Luke was a little short. He's maybe a little bit shorter than Greedo, but pretty close to the same size. And again, about the same size as Boba Fett, maybe a little bit shorter. And just for good measure, about the same size as the Desert Trooper from Wave 1. Now, one thing that you might be wondering, is if you can take this figure, these two figures, and create a third figure, a Han Solo in Stormtrooper disguise. Unfortunately, you can't really. The ball on the Stormtrooper head, like with the, probably like you tried with the Luke Skywalker figure, the hole on the regular figures and the ball joints on the regular figures are smaller than the ball joint on the Stormtrooper. I don't know if that was done deliberately so that you can't make your own version. You can kind of set the head on there, so if you just wanted to display the figure like that, you could get away with it, but it won't actually attach on there, so it's going to fall right off. So I just wanted to point that out for anyone wondering if they could make their own Han Solo and Stormtrooper disguise figure. Okay, so let's take a look at the articulation on this figure. It's got a good amount of articulation like we've come to expect from the figures in this line. He's on the ball hinge joint for the head, so he can look left, right, up, and down. And even with the vest on, it doesn't prohibit the movement of the head at all. Standard ball hinge joints on the shoulders. He's got swivel at the elbow, single hinged elbow joint. There's no kind of tricep swivel or anything. And then he's got the hinged swivel wrists, so he can kind of bend his hands down and such. He's got a lower ab type, the abdomen's on like a ball type joint, so he's got some good movement at the waist. And he can swivel left and right. Then the legs, again, are on ball joints basically, so he's got some pretty good movement there. He can't really put his legs too far back the way they're sculpted, but he can move it forward and outwards. Can't quite do this full splits, but still nice range of movement there. He's got the swivel thigh. He's got double hinged knees. And he's got the ankle pivot joints. So he's got good movement in the ankles. And he has peg holes on both feet. So overall, I think this is a great figure. Also, here's just a quick look at the 6-inch Han Solo next to one of Hasbro's 3¼ inch Han Solo figures, just to give you a comparison there. Again, I think this is a great figure. In fact, it's probably my favorite figure in the Black Series line so far, the 6-inch line. Now, part of that's probably just because Han Solo is one of my favorite characters, and of course I would really rather probably see a Bespin Han Solo over the New Hope, but I really do like this figure. I think it comes with a lot of great accessories, and you can get him in some really nice poses, and kind of poses taken straight from the movie and such, with the details and posability and articulation and everything. So I think it's a great figure. And as I said, in my opinion, probably the best figure in the first two waves so far. So I highly recommend you pick it up. The second wave is starting to hit e-tailers now, and should probably be hitting physical stores any day now if they haven't already. And I would highly recommend you pick it up. So that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, I'll check you later.